Well, he will not be able to pop out if he's already in the seat.
Oh, pop out doesn't pop. Oh.
Yeah.
So,
Pop.
what was the first experience with a Honda? Do you remember?
My my first experience with Honda was building one and working for them.
That was your first experience?
I think so. I think we bought the Activa after that. Because before that we were like, Hondas are all very expensive there.
Okay,
we
so
can't
when was
really-
this? When was this?
This was in 2013. In 2013 when I joined Honda in sales and marketing.
Hmm.
But then obviously as a GET, as a graduate engineer training, I think, you had to like shuffle through all the departments, and part of that was also building Hondas. That was my first experience with Hondas. Like there's a possibility I might have built an Activa before, but it wasn't something memorable, so I don't really remember any of that. What was your first experience?
I think our city was our first experience.
Oh.
I think it was in 2000s.
Okay.
We got our city.
Mm-hmm.
It was a beautiful silver city.
Okay.
I don't know, I associate silver with Hondas
Yeah. Why is that?
because the first city was silver
Ah.
Honda. I don't know, I just feel it goes well with the subtle character of a Honda.
Right.
It doesn't shout too much, it's just there and it does its job and it looks good doing it. So city was the first thing, and then we all fell in love with it because it lasted for 14 years, which probably is the opposite of what you felt when you at the end of your cycle with Honda.
Yeah, it felt like it lasted for 14 years, definitely. Even though I was there for 1.5 years.
Oh man. But you were with the two-wheeler division, right?
Yes. I made a bunch of CBR 50Rs, CBR 150Rs. And I assembled a whole bunch of Activa engines. So if your Activa engine is defective, then that's probably me. Because usually they are not very defective. But incidentally, when we bought our Activa, it had a whole bunch of problems. Which was very interesting because, I mean, having been through all the conversation about the reliability of Honda over the years, it was surprising how unreliable our Activa was.
I can't tell if you don't like Honda or Honda doesn't like you.
Well, fortunately, that story has a great ending because right now we have a Honda City and our mutual relationship has been fine so far.
Nice.
So it only got better.
Cheers to growth, man.
Yes. That's what she said.
But yeah, I mean, do you think the current city is as good as the...
No. Current City is definitely better.
I would disagree with that.
Have you driven the current city?
The current city, no.
Well then.
But I know, just by the looks of it, it cannot be better than the OG one.
It looks fantastic.
It looks
It
fantastic,
looks
no
better
doubt.
than the recently launched Verna. I would say.
Agreed. And also, I felt like, the current gen city is much more subtler, much more elegant, much more minimalistic in a way that
So basically,
it reminds me of the OG city.
basically your kind of car.
Yes. But it also reminds me of the OG city, which is why I like it even more than the previous gen.
But
But yes.
I sense your butt here.
I hope not. But
How's it?
But yeah, I think thankfully there's still a naturally aspirated engine. It's still a 4-cylinder. It still loves to be revved. I think it still redlines at 7,000 RPM or 8,000 RPM, I don't know. But it still has that Honda-ness in the engine, which thankfully is still there. Honda being Honda, I was expecting for them to be killing it or something. But yeah, thankfully that's still there. But I think what makes the OG city really, really good is because it's no electronically deficit. It's just purely mechanical. That's with all cars today. I mean, but yeah, but or maybe it's just my nostalgia factor that is putting the OG city in a brighter light.
I
Than
like how you use the word not maybe.
the what?
I like how you use the word maybe.
Yeah, but yeah.
Nice, nice. And soon your experience with Honda is going to grow manifolds.
For better or for the worse.
Yes. Whenever they decide to actually deliver the bike.
Yeah. When they see me as a customer instead of someone just inquiring about it,
Yeah.
even after 2 months of booking it,
You should probably send this video to them.
and Honda being Honda, they'll just happily ignore it.
Yeah.
Gee, what was your experience with Honda? First experience with Honda?
I think my first experience was we had a second-hand Accord in our childhood. I feel like I associate that form factor with the old city that you're talking about.
Yeah, it was pretty much closer to that.
Yeah. So there's a simpleness to it, and there's an obvious 3-boxness to it. So yeah, that was my favorite car as a kid, because we had it, because it was so fast feeling. I guess as a kid, I obviously didn't know anything about engines and horsepowers and stuff. I don't know, maybe I'm sure D probably has, but for me, I was just like, yep, this is like the coolest car ever. That's it. And from then I've had some sort of a regard and respect for the brand, for their products, as we mentioned, in terms of reliability and stuff. Our
But
car has been quite reliable.
when was this? Which year?
This was like 2000, early 2000s. I don't exactly remember when, but I think we sold it off also in the early 2000s from.
So I think it's a very similar generation of
I
the
think
city
so.
that we
I
had.
think so. Yeah. Probably sold it in 2004 or something.
Could be a controversial opinion. During the last Civic that we had, the beautiful, elegant one, would it have made sense that should have been an Accord rather than a Civic?
Why do you feel so?
Because I don't think it was as driver centric as the OG Civic. I think I'm saying OG too much, but yeah.
You
Because-
said elegant. So I thought you were talking about the OG Civic.
No, the last Civic that we had, the
The recent one.
yeah, the automatic one basically.
Because I mean, I would associate a lot of words with it, but not particularly elegant.
The last one was quite elegant.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I thought it
Sloping
was-
C-pillar,
I
the
thought
sloping
it was
roof.
very, very like racy and stylish and sexy and all of that. Elegant is somehow not a word that would come to my mind. Elegant is probably something that I would associate with the previous gen Civic. Because we only had 2 gens. So the first gen Civic in India. That was more elegant, classy, all of that.
I mean, I get your point. True. I would agree with that. Yes, but I still felt it was elegant because of the sloping roof and how it was so.
Like the front.
Forgive me
looked
for saying
like-
this, but Jaguarish.
The front
XG-ish.
looked like it's got to eat you for breakfast, which I really liked. Which a lot of people had a problem with, particularly in the Type R guys.
But it was still very sophisticated.
It's a Honda, I can't help but do that.
Well, yeah. But coming back to my question, would you agree that it could have
No,
been a
I
better
wouldn't
Accord?
agree, I wouldn't agree. It wasn't. It looked way too fun to be an Accord, and for me, an Accord is a much more serious, much more matured car. The present generation Civic, multiple reviewers have also called it like an Accord Light because again, it looks much more matured than just the previous generation. Much less sportier, much less fun.
True. I mean, the design elements do point towards the Civic.
Growing up in life.
Did you say I was growing up in life?
No, the Civic was growing up in life.
Okay. I mean, how long does it take to launch an SUV in India, man?
Definitely not as long as Honda. So they were the first, as we said the last time. They were the first to come up with a soft SUV, a soft roader.
Do you want to go there?
No, I'm saying they were the ones who invented the segment, and then they forgot.
See,
that
but they
did
didn't
that.
make it compact.
What is the problem with compact SUVs, buddy? Why do you want such a large
Okay,
vehicle
fine, let's-
occupying like space on the street?
No. My point is, the SUV trend
Hmm.
started in India when they started becoming compact because people felt it was more accessible. The
That is
space
true.
and
I'll give him
practicality
that.
is more
I-
accessible to the Indian market.
I will disagree.
'Cause I
with
feel
that.
like our trend line for SUVs did happen or coincided with the presence of smaller SUVs like the EcoSport.
Exactly.
I
The
would-
EcoSport
I do
started the
feel like
compact
I
SUV trend.
think the EcoSport really kicked it off.
Yes.
Mahindra and Tata have been doing whatever they were doing for the decades before that. But the small SUV, the C SUV, is what really got everybody interested in it. So much so that in every segment of car, they just want something that's shaped like an SUV.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why the sedan and the hatchback market also is dying, right? Because you are getting, cheaper SUVs, so-called pseudo SUVs.
I feel like the point is getting slightly jumbled. But anyway,
What was the point?
the point being that Honda started the soft roader, like literally invented the soft roader. BMW came up with the X5 and called it the sports activity vehicle because it wasn't like a Land Cruiser or a Land Rover. It was more an urban-oriented SUV in the
Right.
shape of an SUV, and Honda followed with the CRV.
Yeah, but see, it was again at the same price point as a normal SUV also. It didn't make it cheaper or in any way.
So all I'm saying is,
Hmm.
having made something of this sort,
Hmm.
I don't understand why it has taken them this long to come up with something smaller than this, because the HRV and the BRV, all of those things exist in outer market. It's not like it's only in India that they are somehow unable to bring in a small SUV at a reasonable price, because I'm not even saying it has to be a compact SUV. It could be a Creta rival also, since Creta
Hmm.
has also really popularized the SUV for like a really, really long time. Even
Yeah.
though the
True,
next
true.
one was out, the Creta was there.
Even though I mean, at least the version I'm talking about, even though it looks dated compared to its competition.
I would agree, but cool. We agree to disagree on that. But all I'm saying is, this is the most lucrative market. For whatever reason, the market has shifted towards SUV. That's a whole other conversation.
Hmm.
The fact that they're not present here is why their sales are lagging at the moment. is my
Agreed. I
feeling.
mean, when was the EcoSport in India? 2012.
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah.
I think even the CRV was out in like 2000. No, the first gen CRV was I think 2004 or something.
Yeah, long.
Much
Much long. But that was, I wouldn't. Yeah, I think it's still a soft roader, but it still looked pretty like it's still like a pretty conventional SUV. In a, the traditional SUV shape. It still went with it, but it was still on soft roader because it was stiff suspension and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know why they're taking so long. Seriously, they're literally taking like 7 years or something.
How
Oh,
big is the Pilot?
I think Pilot is still a mid-size.
Like it's a Creta-sized car, or
No, I think Pilot is bigger than that.
Yeah,
Pilot is bigger than the Creta?
I'd say so. I think it's like more like the Alcazar.
Because the HRV is basically Creta size.
Yeah.
The American HRV is basically Creta size.
Okay.
4.2-ish meters.
Because there are a lot of things that Honda should be doing, but they're not even doing it.
Like what?
Like maybe bringing the Civic hatchback here.
You mean the Type?
Yes. Or even the S660 for that matter.
The what?
The S660.
The small coupe that actually comes in a K car thing, but
Right.
Yeah,
I would love to see more of that on our roads.
yeah, I mean the tiny roadsters where we had like the Sandstorm or even the Tata Racemo for that matter. I mean, I would say Tamo Racemo, but even Tata win that. I think that would have made a lot of sense for enthusiasts.
So that opens a new topic actually. So
Yeah.
in India, do you think that the market is ready to invite and celebrate a small car that's powerful?
For Honda, I think that's not their priority at this point. I mean, they need to survive.
No, but that's a strategy, right? So when like to basically build out some sort of a premium version of smaller car segments, and that can create a sense of aspiration.
That's what they're good at, but somehow they're not doing what they're good at and trying to, like, cater to the.
Do you think that aspiration is going to work here? That if Honda, instead of making an amaze, made something that's actually quite powerful, small but mighty?
I don't think there is a market for such a vehicle at the moment.
It'll still be a niche thing, no doubt.
Because the thing that he was saying that the race war would make sense for the enthusiast. Unfortunately,
But it wouldn't sell.
enthusiasts don't make sense for the companies because it's a very very small small market. A company like Ford, which was focusing on driving pleasure, and
That was the
all of
only
that,
thing that they sold, yeah.
it didn't really work. And a company like BMW, which is known for their sheer driving pleasure, apparently, is also shifting away from that and moving into the luxury segment. I mean, the more comfort-oriented side of the luxury segment. So, if Honda made a really comfortable vehicle, maybe that would increase their sales more than driving-focused vehicles.
That's what I mean, like, when they say, like, doing what they're good at, because the Jazz was a really good example of that. The amount of space it provided, the amount of comfort it provided to the hatchback thing was incomparable, I would say.
By comfort, I mean, I hear you on the Jazz, but by comfort, I particularly mean the ride quality. I'm not saying Honda has bad ride quality, but I feel like ride quality is a thing that not enough manufacturers have really
Got a foot on.
marketed. Because, for example, the Citroens have really
That's
nice
gonna get
ride
it.
quality,
Yeah.
but somehow, they're not able to put it across to people that that's what they really want. But I feel that's what people really want. Hyundai, particularly with the Creta, was really good at that, at being able to insulate you from the road, and we desperately need that on our roads. So if you're making like a mass market car,
I guess that's why a driver's car wouldn't work. The driver's car literally is all about getting more feedback from the road.
yeah, I feel like a comfortable car would really work. But unfortunately for Indians, first of all, it's a very fragmented amount of taste. Like there's all kinds of people with all kinds of taste. There is no like a common thread except for right now it's SUVs.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who still value the price of the vehicle and the mileage of the vehicle, even on top of their own safety and their lives. So unfortunately, that's a sizable part of the market.
Which is why a company like Maruti Suzuki is thriving.
Yeah. And there is a sizable chunk who don't realize that what they really require from a car is for it to be really comfortable. Because I feel like even road rage and all of that would reduce substantially if they were more, coherent, happier driving the car.
I think that's one of the reasons why we really desperately need a new ambassador.
Well,
Why?
You remember the sofa seating of the ambassador?
Well, okay.
I don't know.
I don't think the product itself.
Yeah, I
is,
don't think
just
Honda has the
No, that's the thing.
capability to-
Like, it's not the product that, messes you up with the Honda. It's how they handle the product that messes you up.
Yeah. Okay,
That
I don't
sounds
know
not like
I don't know about that generally for Honda also, because I feel like it's a very specific big wing thing right now. Because as much as I understand, I haven't heard a lot of stories. Like it's
No, I'm
nowhere
not saying
close to Tata Motors in terms of handling their customers. It's not close.
No, it's not just the customer side of it. I'm talking about the marketing side of it. The
how
strategy
they
in
speak
India.
about their products, how they advertise.
Yeah, the strategy in India
How they
and
build a brand. They
Their
understand
portfolio.
much brand building in India apart from the product speaking for itself.
See, That's the best kind of brand building possible.
I know, but I would just.
No, they haven't
I
done
wonder
much.
if-
They've only done that Akshay Kumar horrible ads for the Dream Yoga, Dream Neo, and the CD Dream. But apart from that, sporadically they've done some Activa ads also. I don't know why. Because they still can't make enough Activas to like
So
satiate
even
the
then,
Indian
just
customers.
for two-wheelers, basically.
Huh? What?
Even then, just for two-wheelers, they haven't really
Mostly for two-wheelers. I don't
built any
remember.
kind of a brand for four-wheelers.
Not particularly. Somehow, their reputation precedes them. Always. Like originally.
Only in India, that is.
No,
I think
the
that's-
world over.
Yeah.
The world, I mean, I don't know any place
Okay,
which
fine,
doesn't
I mean,
regard
yeah.
the Honda as a brilliant brand. That's the reason the first
I think-
episode is on them. Because all over the world, people agree it's a fantastic car building company. It just doesn't know how to market itself well.
I think they still do a good job in Japan
Of what?
of being Honda.
So wait,
No,
then
what does that
are you
mean?
talking about business? Because that's a different angle of
Business
appreciating.
and also, keeping up to their expectations.
I think they're keeping up to their expectations here
I
quite
think
nicely.
like their products do keep up the
Honda
expectations.
City is a
all
great
the
car,
time.
but
I'm not
like,
talking
I
about the
don't-
product itself, bro. I'm talking about the company, like what they do. Like in terms of marketing their product well or strategizing their product well or their portfolio well.
Portfolio. You're talking about the portfolio.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, again, the city has been like, whatever, like for regularly I see Instagram ads about the city, for example.
Hmm.
So I feel like they're pushing for awareness for the vehicle.
Hmm.
One which I don't even think it requires, because I feel like the Honda City is the Honda City. They don't need to sell it. Much like the Activa, they sell itself. Is my belief, because it's such a
But then I
brilliant
wonder how
product.
it stacks up against
Yeah.
the Honda and even
And even
most
the Ciaz for that
recently
matter.
released, Purchase.
It's better than all of them.
It's better than all of them, but it doesn't sell better
not
than
the
all of them.
product. In terms of sales figures.
It still sells more than all of them.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Well, it's good
More
for
than
them.
Ciaz and even the.
Oh, Ciaz sells less than 1,000 units a month, but Ciaz does not sell well at all. It's been like one of the laggards of Maruti for a while now, for more than a year.
But I think it sells a lot of space.
What?
The Ciaz.
Sells a lot of?
Lot on space.
On space.
As in,
It
people
doesn't
buy it
sell.
for
It
the.
doesn't sell. So. it
Maybe
doesn't
it's
sell.
become outdated, but
The Honda City is has always been the segment. Like I don't think there's been a single month when it has not been a segment leader.
Oh.
I didn't
Like
realize
even
that.
the month that the word just released or the reviews came out, I have a feeling that the Honda still outsold the rally kit.
Yeah.
So the Honda City is doing its job brilliantly, and the Honda Amaze, it's a great car, but it's up against the Desire, and of course that's our national car, so we can't really just let it go.
I know the national car was auto.
Yeah.
For what
Fortunately,
it's
we
worth,
at least-
the newest, whatever the current contemporary version of the Desire, I find to be a very, very handsome interpretation of that segment of those proportions. More than Hyundai, more than Tata's Tigor. I actually really like it. I feel like that language works even better on the Desire than on the Swift itself, which didn't used to be the case. Obviously, the Swift was like really, really cool, and then the early Desires were all just like
Yes!
Okay.
okay. Around first.
I feel it.
But yeah, I really like. Wow, have I like appreciated Maruti twice already?
Bro, I feel like we have a spy in our midst.
I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
Ellis has hired someone amongst us. But yeah, I feel like the Amaze looks really, really nice right now. I know it looks slightly boxy, but I think it has character. It tries to say something. It's not just a bland, blay looking car.
It went
Whoa!
from weird to
Whoa!
What are we-
Look at what's coming up.
what's not happening?